Hi, this is Dr. Gary Pekoe, your holistic transformational coach. Today I want to talk to you about power. Power is something that very often we believe we don't have, or we have a misconception about it being something that people use to lord over other people. You hear politicians referred to as power brokers. They talk about people being very powerful, and very often when we're doing transformational coaching, we talk about power. We talk about empowerment needing to come from the inside out, and we talk about how we give up our power, or how people take our power away from us. And it happens in a very unknowing fashion. It starts in childhood. You're a child, you have certain things you want to do, but you want to fit in, you want to be liked, you want to be approved of, and so very often you surrender your will or your desire to do certain things because you want to be approved of. Now obviously as a child there are things you shouldn't do, but for example, you may be a child that has certain emotions in certain situations, and those are your truths. You feel this way, and a parent says to you, you shouldn't feel that way, or it's silly to cry about that, or boys don't cry, or just anything like that that basically invalidates you. And at that point you learn that what you feel isn't important, or if you feel a certain way, you're going to be disapproved of. So at that point you basically surrender who you are. You surrender your truth, you surrender your power. You don't lose your power, you just live under the illusion that it doesn't exist, it doesn't work for you. And as you get older, you continue this pattern in relationships with your peers, in relationships with teachers, authority figures, maybe a girlfriend. You start compromising who you are for external approval, instead of getting the approval from the inside out, which is true empowerment. So very often as I'm in coaching situations with clients, we will find situations where they don't speak what they believe, they compromise their feelings for the sake of peace or unity. Not that unity is a bad thing, but it's much better to be unified when you're being yourself, your genuine self, and adhering to your truths, rather than going through a series of compromises where you just don't feel right inside. And honestly, once you're in tune with your cellular processes and how you feel down to your core, you know when you're compromising, you know when you're giving up your power. And there are people who have learned to take people's power. They learn how to manipulate people into doing what they want, into feeling guilty in situations, and they basically drain off your power. So I was talking to a client, and we were discussing a situation with her husband, and she eats a certain way when he goes out of town, and she loves the way she eats, and it's healthy for her. When he comes back into town, she changes how she makes her food. And he knows that she eats a certain way when he's not there, and that she loves the way she eats. But yet when he comes home, he basically, for lack of a better term, bullies her into changing how she eats and catering to him. And one day she described a situation where she just got fed up with him and said, I really don't care what you think about what I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat what I want to eat. Make your own food. Now, in asking her what that was like, she said it was frustrating, but she felt good because she kept eating what she wanted, and she basically, for lack of a better word, took back her power. And we described what would be the ideal situation, and the conclusion was he would come home and he would say to her something to the effect of, that's really amazing that you eat your own food and that you're really intending to be healthy. I fully support you, and I'm going to go make my own food so you don't have to worry about mine. In fact, I'll be glad to help you make your food as well, because I want you to be the best as my wife, as my friend. And I asked her what that felt like, and she said that felt awesome. So she had kind of a 5-minute fairy godmother feeling about what a real empowered, mutually beneficial, respectful relationship would be like. And so I suggested to her, why not tell him the next time that this is how you would like him to respond, and see if he would respond that way. It would be a way that would be respecting her as a person, would not be manipulating her, would not be bullying her, and she would basically be empowered. She will be in touch with herself, her truth in the situation, and she would finally feel that she was being who she was supposed to be. And very often we hesitate to do that because we don't want to create conflict, we don't want to be approved of, we've never seen this work out well. But what I've learned in coaching people is that as they transform, everybody else around them has to deal with it. And very often they deal with it in a positive fashion, but the person that's basically taking back their power or being empowered from inside is just not used to that reaction. Because in the past, when they tried to stand up and live their truth, they were disapproved of or beaten down. So in transformational coaching, we go step by step and help people understand that it's a good thing to be empowered and to take back their power, and that life is not going to crumble around them if they live out their truths. And very often that gets them unstuck, and they start to transform in lots of areas of their lives, and they start achieving things they never were able to achieve before because they were stuck, because they didn't have the ability to tap into their power, because they had just distributed it away from themselves and allowed people to basically become their power brokers for them. So I'd like to encourage everybody to give a thought to, are you stuck? Where are you in terms of feeling like you're accomplishing what you want to accomplish? And get in touch with me at Gary@AileyWellness.com, or you can text me or call me at 757-618-2300. And I would be glad to do an initial free session with you and begin to help you get back in touch with your power and get down the road of being transformed. I did it myself as part of my training, and I am very different than I was 6 months ago. And I see little areas all the time in my life where these insidious abilities of myself that I learned over time to give up my power are being transformed if I'm willing to do the work. And ultimately, I'm just your thinking partner. I'm a sounding board. I'm there to help guide you so that you can put the pieces together and you can transform. So I hope you come back and listen to the next video blog that I have, and have a great week.